I think you sucker punch it, it's down for the count. You kick it in the pouch, you sucker punch it, you're done.
No.
That thing
It's
is
not very
going
nice
down.
to kick it in the pouch.
No.
It's the After Party podcast. Here we go. You know what? Sometimes we hear these stories that just make us go, some people are just fucking stupid. Here we go with the podcast. Gandhi's here, and there's Scary, and there's Garrett and Danielle,
Hello.
and there's producer Nate, and of course Scotty B.
Hi.
All right, tell the story, Gandhi.
Okay, so there's a story that came out a few days ago about a man who was found dead in an enclosure with wallabies and a kangaroo. He had a lot of blunt force trauma. They weren't sure what happened, and then we found out he got in a fight with the kangaroo, and he came out on the losing end of that.
You think?
Yeah.
Which made us think about the time we all discussed in here, do you think you could take a kangaroo? And most normal, sane, logical people will say, nope, I could not fight a kangaroo, but not our boy Nate.
Nope.
Yeah.
Or a gorilla.
Right.
There's guys out there that think they could just take him.
Right.
Maybe it's a pack of 10 or 100 guys. Can they take a gorilla?
Right.
No.
The answer is no.
Absolutely not.
We say no.
Right.
But when it comes to this guy, let's fill in the blanks. The guy in the
Yes.
kangaroo fight.
Uh-huh.
He knew this kangaroo. He was at his brother's petting zoo. Okay?
Jack. Mm-hmm.
Jack is the kangaroo. And he went into the ring with this kangaroo a couple of times and play fought with him.
Right.
Jack didn't have it this time, beat the shit out of him, and he
Yeah.
died.
Jack was over it.
Damn.
Jack said, no more. I don't want to do this anymore. And then we started talking about how ridiculous it is when people just think that they can actually go and play with these wild animals. I make jokes about it all the time. Can I touch it? I would try to touch it maybe. I also know the dangers that lurk there, and there are certain things I'm not going to touch.
Right. And keep in mind, these are not dogs and cats.
No.
We know dogs, we know cats, we know how they operate. Kangaroos, you don't know how a kangaroo
Right.
operates. You don't understand the force, the sheer power they have in their legs, and
Yeah.
they'll kick your head off.
And they're jacked.
And then here comes this one.
Yep.
Here comes Straight Nate saying, "Well,
It's okay. So you just sold a story, and it was one kangaroo and 3 wallabies in the ring with him.
Well, he only fought the kangaroo, apparently.
How do we know that?
That's what
Was
they
there video?
said.
That's what they said. I think they ganged up on him. See, you're not going to win with odds like that.
Okay,
you
well-
are not going to win with
well,
odds
hold on a
like
second.
that.
I never thought that angle.
Yeah.
Do we think that could have happened? We don't know.
I haven't seen that reported anywhere. I'm sure that there are ways to figure out, was that a wallaby kick?
Well, wait
or
a
was that a
second.
kangaroo kick? Because wallabies are quite tiny.
Listen, 4
Yeah, well-
on 1, you're going to lose that
Even
battle.
Nate versus kangaroo 1-on-1, you ain't winning.
No
You're
way.
expert boxers. You ever see them? You're not even close to being as physically
Why
fit.
do you think that you could beat up a kangaroo?
I've seen videos. I
No.
think you sucker punch it, it's down for the count. You kick it in the pouch, you sucker punch it, you're done.
No.
That thing
It's
is
not very
going
nice
down.
to kick it in the pouch.
No.
Well, if you're in
your
a
pouch.
if you're in a fight.
I guess.
Yeah, you got to fight dirty. That thing is not going to be playing by any
Well,
rules.
my point is
not.
this: don't be an idiot. Don't get near a kangaroo.
Of course, I'm never going to fight a kangaroo. I'm just saying
No,
if it
but
ever came to
you're
that.
the kind of guy that says I could take a kangaroo. You
Right.
say that because you're never going to fight one.
Right.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
can see a drunken Nate in Australia being like, I can do this right now. Bring it on, Jack. You know, I'm going to kill you.
What a great attraction that would be. You know,
Watching you get killed, sure.
you know how people get in those sumo outfits? If you had like one of those big padded suits and you could go box with a kangaroo and it had like a helmet on and some boxing gloves, that would be a great attraction.
I
would
actually
sign up
think
for
that exists. I don't think a sumo
Really?
suit is there, but I do think kangaroo boxing is a thing. But the foot of a kangaroo with the little claws that they have can disembowel you with one kick. One
see?
kick and you're done. And you think you're going to fight it. And you are not alone, because so many of the men that I've talked to about this believe they too could fight the kangaroo.
You can't take it head on. You got to get around it. You got to get behind it.
Yeah.
Choke it out.
Choke it out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, Scotty, here comes
No
Scotty.
way you're quicker than a
Please.
kangaroo, though.
Scotty's good at choking it out.
No, you juke it out. You get behind it. You put it in half Nelson.
Scotty's
No,
Scotty's choking it out right now.
By the way,
sorry.
it's-
I've seen kangaroos. You cannot fight a kangaroo.
No.
No way.
They will. Even a baby Joey will kill you.
No,
Yeah.
I could
Well,
totally
no.
take a
Well,
Joey.
a baby Joey would probably not kill you, but you don't want to fight a baby
I would
Joey.
never-
They're
could.
very
Absolutely.
strong, and the koalas, they're assholes also.
Oh, yeah, koalas. I mean, sloths can just F you up.
I was
All
about to
the
say,
animals.
you can't even beat a sloth, and they're slower than you.
I'd be more worried about
No, a
getting
sloth. It's about their clamps.
Yeah.
They could just start squeezing, and they'll squeeze the
See, I'd be
esophagus
more
out of your neck.
worried with a koala about getting chlamydia from it.
Yeah.
Because don't they all have chlamydia?
Something like that.
Yeah,
Well,
I
then
would
fuck the koala.
Nate
Wait
would
a
have
minute.
such a hard time staying away from that.
Is that how Scotty knows?
By the way, guys, you're talking
wasn't
about
real.
kangaroos and their feet, but you know that the bite force, it says, is as strong as a grizzly bear. 975 pounds of pure square inch.
I
so
never
how are
knew
you
that.
gonna
I
fight
didn't
that?
either.
Bite back, baby.
Yeah, right.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
I never knew about the fight
That's what
factor.
it says.
The bite.
Powerful kicks, jumps and hot, and bite force.
I didn't know about the bite factor. I didn't know
Neither
that.
did I.
Look at that. Danielle
Yeah.
taught us.
Even
Never
their
thought
tail
about
can
kidding.
kill you. One swipe of that tail will knock you out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously never going to happen, right?
Well,
They
Let's
escape
bring
from
in the
zoos.
kangaroo, guys. Here we go.
we got a surprise for you.
Surprise.
If I could pick the
Surprise.
kangaroo.
So I guess
please.
sort of another theme about these stories you hear about, well, how many of us could beat up a gorilla, or this guy, Nate, I could beat up a kangaroo. Another storyline here is these guys who are so stupid. Yeah. They think that they are winning the room with their machismo by proclaiming to the world that they can fight a kangaroo,
Right.
knowing that they're maybe 800 miles away from a kangaroo.
Right.
Bunch of assholes.
And please know that every time you're around a woman and you say something like this, all we think is idiot.
Yeah.
Not
That's
a
that
chance.
powerhouse gym toxic masculinity that goes around. You know, you said the word machismo. I was going to use the same word, but just to be more colorful. Yeah, that's exactly my friends, my meathead friends that do nothing but work out for 6 hours a day. They're the ones that are having these conversations, and it's just stupid,
Okay. All right.
foolish.
Did you guys ever see that Nate Bargatze bit where he talked about if there were 100 men in a room with an orangutan, about 70 of them would be like, I can fight that thing, no problem. If there were 100 women in a room with an orangutan and you asked how many of you could fight it, the women would be like, why the fuck would I fight an orangutan?
Exactly.
Are you crazy?
The
What?
logic.
Yeah, I would never do that. That's a dumb question.
Do you remember the day that Nate strolled through the door and said, you know what I want to do this weekend? I want to get drunk and get into a bar fight. What?
Lord almighty. We should
Yeah.
allow that one.
Why do you say things like that? Do you mean them?
I think it's more you want to know your limits, right? I think you want to know if you can handle yourself in that situation. We've all seen movies. Well, I'll take it a step further. We've all been in a bar when a bar fight breaks out,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
It's usually you.
It almost came to fruition a few months ago when he fought with that woman over the coat hooks.
I would have taken her, by the way.
The way he looked and stared her
You would have
down.
taken coat hook woman?
She was half his
1,000,000%.
height. She was half his height.
Yeah.
And Nate's sitting there like,
I would've
what
fought
you
her.
gonna do about it?
Yeah. I totally would have taken her down.
I'm like, Nate's living out his
But
fantasy.
Do you think about that?
Never.
Like, do you think, hey, if something happened, would I be able to handle myself in this situation?
Well, it's okay to think about it, but why do you want to act on it?
Yeah, well, see, as I get older, I realize it's probably not smart to do these things.
The
Even
same
when
guy
you're
who
younger,
says,
it's not.
I can ride a horse.
Yes, at a gallop. He thinks he can
Still
gallop.
think I could do that.
Well, you could. It's easier than fighting with a kangaroo, I guess. But
Those are his best odds in all of these.
Like, one day, can I just box a kangaroo, ride a horse, and then get into a bar fight? Is that which one of those is probably going to do me in?
It's like
See
you
the
want to be
cowboy?
Australian for a day.
what are those games where they have like 5 different things you have to do? The mutter thing? Or
Oh, tough
Tough
Mudder.
Mutter.
Yeah, you want to do like a fucked up tough mutter. Like, well, he beats a kangaroo and now he rides a horse. And now he's running into the bar for a bar fight. He's going into the saloon through the 2 doors.
I would pay to watch that.
Okay, I'm
Without a
in.
doubt.
That would be entertaining.
Has anyone else ever actually never been in a fight in their life? I have never been in a fight.
Never.
Ever.
Me,
Well,
me,
the
me
day
too.
is
Wow.
young, Scotty.
Scotty, you and I both.
Never.
I always,
Neither.
yeah, never been in a fist fight in my
I had a
life.
little bit of a fight with Danny in 3rd grade.
Who won?
With Danny.
Knowing they split us up and we went to the principal's office.
I don't see Danny around, so I guess I know who won.
Danny turned out to be one of my best friends.
Wait,
Oh, that's nice.
so the women in here are the ones that have been in the brawls?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
What?
Wow.
Not
That
surprising.
is hilarious.
What's your record, Danielle?
What? For
What's
what?
your record in fights?
I don't have that many fights. And
How many girls did you kill in high school?
Not many.
I'm undefeated.
Wow.
I think you could kick my ass. I wouldn't get in a fight with you.
With me?
Yeah, you
fight
kill me.
dirty.
Yeah, you
I
really
would,
do.
First of all, I'm little, so I would have to.
You're a thug from the
have
wrong
to.
side of town.
What, Garrett?
Oh
Who
my
would-
gosh.
All right, so out of the 3 guys, Scary, Scotty, and Nate, who would win the fight?
Scary
I
Scotty
don't
Nate.
see any of them winning.
No, none of them.
I don't see any
They
of them
call
winning.
Gandhi and myself to help.
I just run. I wouldn't fight.
All right, think this through. We got to get out of here. What a stupid conversation. I hope you have it with your friends today, too. That's it for the After Party Podcast. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.